Kamala mouths off on Senate floor. Condoleezza Rice smacks her down hard. By that conservative girl politics U.S. News for MadWorldNews.com. Senator Kamala Harris has been touted as a possible 2020 candidate for president, so she's always looking for some way to grandstand. Harris's latest stunt to get her name in the news involved mouthing off about President Donald Trump's Supreme Court pick, Judge Brett Kavanaugh. However, having had enough of Kamala's games, Condoleezza Rice stepped in and smacked her down hard. In July, President Donald Trump nominated Brett Kavanaugh to replace Anthony Kennedy on the Supreme Court. What matters actually is not a judge's personal views, but whether they can set aside those views to do what the law and the Constitution require. Trump said during the announcement from the East Room of the White House, "I am pleased to say I have found without doubt such a person. It is my honor to announce that I will nominate Justice Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court," the president added. Kavanaugh serves on the Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, which often rules on major challenges to federal laws and policies. If confirmed, he would make a Supreme Court solidly conservative, joining Chief Justice John Roberts and Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Neil Gorsuch in a potential 5-vote majority. He would be sure to join the conservatives more often than Kennedy, who sometimes voted with the court's liberals in cases raising hot-button social issues. Of course, Trump was going to catch flack from the left no matter who he picked to fill Kennedy's seat. However, the amount of resistance he is facing after nominating 53-year-old Kavanaugh, a pillar of impartiality and by all accounts a brilliant legal mind, is a bit ridiculous, especially when you consider Trump's predecessors had a habit of choosing far-left activist judges like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The Democrats are now going out of their way to make the confirmation process for Kavanaugh as difficult as possible for Republicans, and Senator Kamala Harris seems to be leading the fight at Kavanaugh's hearing this week. Harris asserted that he would be unable or unwilling to uphold the law equally for all Americans, saying, "I am concerned your loyalty would be to the president who appointed you and not to the Constitution of the United States," as if they ever cared about the Constitution. Hillary wanted to restructure it. I believe the American people have a right to have these concerns. Delivery by 9-4, whatever, sorry about that. Of course, this is absolutely ridiculous by Harris's standard. No judge would ever pass the impartiality test, as they are all nominated by a president. But coincidentally, the Democrats did not seem to find this an issue when Barack, their messiah, Hussein Obama, nominated Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan. Loyalty to the president was also of no concern to them when Bill Clinton nominated Stephen Breyer and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, who has worked closely with Kavanaugh in the past and spoke on his behalf at the hearing this week, laid waste to Harris's concerns, pointing out that adherence to the Constitution is what motivates Trump's nominee, and remaining loyal to the country's founding document isn't a political stance. He will be an outstanding Supreme Court justice, Rice declared. His intellect is unquestioned, his judgment is highly regarded, and I can personally attest to his character and integrity as a colleague. Brett Kavanaugh will thoroughly and faithfully uphold the trust that is our heritage, the Constitution of the United States of America, she added. Unsatisfied, Harris turned to race baiting, a favorite tactic of Democrats who have lost a debate and have nothing intelligent left to say. During her opening statements, the senator from California suggested that the Supreme Court has a duty to seek justice on the behalf of illegal immigrants And she questioned whether or not Kavanaugh has the capacity to avoid racism and bigotry in his decision making. Excuse me? Excuse me? Why is this an issue? Why is this an issue? We're talking about the American people, people who are here. And that has nothing to do with racism and bigotry. It's we're not paying for all of this crap. Justice wears a blindfold because we have said in the United States of America under our judicial system, justice should be blind to a person's status, said Harris. Justice should be blind to how much money someone has, to what you look like, or who you love, to who your parents are, and the language they speak. She also expressed her concern over whether Kavanaugh would treat every American equally. What a crock. Rice slapped that absurd assertion away as well, reliving her own childhood as an example. As a little girl born in segregated Birmingham, Alabama, who grew up to be Secretary of State, I know personally our country's long journey to guarantee equal rights, said Rice. I know the power of the Constitution, and I know the gift of our democracy. The Supreme Court is a crucial guardian both of our Constitution and of our democracy. That is why I am so honored to introduce Brett Kavanaugh for these hearings. And that should also be in reference to Kamala Harris too, right? Oh, this is a long one. Maybe we're better off. Forget it. We just read everything they said. So, yeah, basically, Condoleezza Rice tells her off and expresses that in a roundabout way that the Democrats are only obstructionists. How about that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.